Good afternoon, good evening. I am Kitty Chaney Reed. I am here as IBM's Chief Leadership, Culture, and Inclusion Officer. And we're going to have a chat today about transformation and the role diversity and inclusion plays in transformation. I've had the amazing opportunity to run transformation for a number of years at 2 or 3 different companies. And most recently, I've had the opportunity to run transformation projects at IBM. I started to work for IBM 6 years ago and got a phone call from a recruiter saying, "We have the opportunity of a lifetime for you, Kitty." And that opportunity was to drive transformation in a significant piece of our business for a global team that basically supported sales from soup to nuts, from the beginning, the quote, all the way to the collection of the cash. What an amazing opportunity. And even after that, I had the opportunity to run yet another transformation project that brought all of our operations functions, our sales support and business operations functions across the globe into a centralized team. That meant transforming technology, that meant transforming the way we worked, and most of all, it meant transforming the culture. And I learned some things along the way, both in other roles and in these roles. And I'll tell you what has struck me over the last several years. And that's the role that inclusivity and diversity play in the transformation process. And so for me, there are 3 components of transformation. One of them is you have to assess the tolerance for risk. You have to determine just how risk averse are the teams that I'm going to work with. And then from there, you got to figure out, okay, how do I really challenge the status quo? People get stuck in their ways. People like doing things the way they've always done them. And the other piece of it is I learned that a major tenet is being comfortable with progress, not perfection. And you might ask, so how does diversity play into any of that? You'd be surprised. So I'll tell you what I learned on that front as well. When you want to transform something, the thing that's most important, it's like gold. It's so precious, is having a team that is composed of people who think differently, people who are not all the same. And I'm not necessarily talking about race or gender. Those things are important as well. But more important than that is the things that those people bring to the table in terms of divergent thought. So when you have a diverse team, you can get to the heart of the matter, the change that you want to drive much more quickly, because you have a group of people that are bouncing ideas off of one another and challenging one another in the most interesting and aggressive ways. The other thing is, almost always when I've ran transformation projects, they've been global. People from all cultures, all places around the world, all genders, large numbers of people, thousands of people across the globe. And culture plays a role in transformation. It plays a role in how willing people are to change, how you have to communicate with them about change, how you lead them through the change. Culture is so important. And you don't have an appreciation for the culture of every country. You don't have an appreciation for the customs and traditions of every country. So you better bring a team that's diverse. You have to. And then the thing I would tell you is in driving change, you have to be aware of cultural norms. You have to know what's considered normal, what's considered acceptable, what are the taboos. And if you are not aware of those things, you're going to fail because change management is a big part of transformation. And you need everybody rowing in the same direction. But more importantly than that, you need to create belief in the hearts and minds of the people that you're asking to change. You're asking them to change the way they worked for years. You're asking them potentially to use different technology, and you're asking them to trust you. And if you have an appreciation for inclusion and diversity, people tend to feel like the environment is safe. They see you behaving that way. They see you appreciating everybody's point of view and actually factoring all of that into your change management plans and the way you're rolling out whatever change it is. And they follow. And that is the secret sauce. At least it's been my secret sauce to how I've successfully driven transformation. Easy for me to say, but how I've driven transformation across multiple projects, millions and millions of dollars worth of impact that has been made through inclusive leadership, and appreciation for diversity and inclusion, and the real chops that come with transforming big chunks of business. So with that, I want to actually have an opportunity to answer any questions you might have about any of the things I've just said. And of course, you can always challenge me. You can always say, Kitty, that's not what I believe. That's not what I've experienced. And I'm happy to talk to you about it. I'm happy to have dialogue. So enter your questions and your answers, and I am willing to have the dialogue. So here's the first question I would ask is, do you have an experience where you've actually seen inclusion and diversity make a difference in a transformation project you've led? I'm waiting for those answers. So and feel free to share your name, and I'll give you a shout out as we have this dialogue virtually. I got 2 minutes left, you guys, for questions. And if you don't have any questions, or while I wait for your questions or your answers to my question, I want to leave you with something. Today is a day that I had an opportunity to actually kick off our Hispanic Heritage Month celebration at IBM. What an amazing opportunity. And in honor of that, I actually wore something that was designed by a Mexican designer. Her name is Pinada Covaline, and she has beautiful, beautiful garments that she's created in honor of Hispanic, but mostly Mexican heritage. So you'll see the designs that are attached to the culture, and you'll see how colorful and how beautiful they are. I try to celebrate diversity in a lot of different ways, and one of those ways is by spending my dollars on what I would consider to be diverse retailers and diverse suppliers. And so I'd encourage you to experiment with diversity in many different ways. And one of those ways is by exploring different cultures. So Brianna is giving me my 10-second warning. And the thing I want to leave with you guys is, again, you can do anything transformative with an inclusive and diverse approach. Remember, everybody's required to drive transformation, and that means everybody: women, men, different races, different backgrounds, different skills. And if you do that, you've got the secret to success. You're going to win every time. Take good care. And it was great chatting with you.